Hi everyone, I'm back for part 3 of the beach album, but I wanted to show you this first. These are my dog's paw prints. Um, she goes to a doggy daycare once a week. She didn't go yesterday, Friday, because she had to go to the vet and get her weekly updates of shot or yearly updates. And that, so we took her today, and they made this. And they offer stuff like this. I've got a keychain with her photo on it. We've got a Christmas picture of her. And the nice thing is about this place is they always seem to get her to be happy. And they get her to do stuff that I couldn't get her to do. So my husband wants me to put her name up on top here. And I might put a little picture. Now I need to get one of Mittens. That's something to consider. Okay. So, got the beach album. Alright. Now, I did some planning last night. And I did a little bit of work on it. One thing I did was I put pockets on the back of 4 of the pages, and I forgot to tell you what I was going to do with the pocket pages. So these pockets are 7 1/8 by 2 7/8. I had made mine a little bigger, but they still work. So that's why I'm giving you the 7 1/8 by 2 7/8. You score at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. But if you look at this one, it's a side one, and this one is at 8 1/4 by 3 1/4, and again scored out on 3 sides. And I actually have one left to do. So we're going to do the pocket, and then I'm going to show you what else I did. And that's what I want. Yeah. Basically what I tried to do was, because the front is this, I made the pocket that too. So, I don't know, it's weird. Kind of ties it all in together. I'm using glue. I'm just putting my paper on. And then I'm just gonna, whoops, sorry guys. Just put my paper on and I'm gluing. And I'm just gonna, I make sure that the edges align to the bottom and the side. I'm gonna give it a little push so it puffs out a little bit. Press that down. Oops, don't want to lose my book. And there. It works just fine. But I did give you a measurement for 1/8 of an inch off of that. Now, something else I did. You can see it in here. I did a bypass. So I can actually fit 2 cards in here. I'll hold it up. So there's extra flap. Yeah, I could have not done them without the bypass, but so basically all I did for the bypass, and the bypass is not my original idea, but I like it because I plan on adding little booklets in that, and I'll show you that in a minute. But basically what I did was I took a strip of cardstock 2 inches by 8 1/4, and I scored 5/8 of an inch on the 2 ends. So I put the 8 1/4 inch in my score board, scored at 5/8, flip it, scored at 5/8. Then I folded them opposite. So basically if I'm looking at it, one is folded away, one is folded towards me. And then all I do is, and this is where glue comes in handy. So you could do it with score tape, But all I did was open it up and carefully slide this in. Until it was even with the top. And then I have these aren't micro clothespins, but they're small clothespins. They're like doll clothes size. And I just did that. And that holds it, and then I'll have my bypass. All right, so now, as I stated, on the insides here, I want waterfalls. I'm also going to do a couple booklets, and then I have it planned out, so we're going to get started. Now, this is for my first waterfall, and it is going to be a side mounted waterfall, and it is going in the front here, and I'll put down some pattern paper here after I make this. But rather than doing the typical, you know, like that, because I want the pictures to go this way, I am going to make it a staggered waterfall. So basically each one of these will go down a ½ inch, say ½ inch, yeah, ½ inch from the top of the other one. It'll be connected here. So let's get that done. And I am going to need a sheet of another color. Just a moment. Okay, with some white. So basically what I am doing is I'm laying my waterfall out. I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to make it so that this end is on my pointing to my right. And I'm going to mark ½ inch down. You want to eyeball it. The other thing you can do is just lay your ruler there. Then I'm just going to apply some glue. Trying to leave about a ½ inch. And I'm going to line this up. Just like that. So when I put this white here, you can see it's a ½ inch down. It doesn't really work. Hold on here, let me. Well, that will work if I do it right. I'm sorry, I'm talking to myself. Okay. So here is the first one. Okay. So when I place this here, I'll do a little border. As you can see, it's a ½ inch down from the top of this. And so that actually cut me a 2-inch strip, which if I don't goof up, I'll use for my design. Because I need to be able to see where that edge of that blue is. And again, I'm going to do a ½ inch. glue on, hold this in place, line up the edge, whoops, glue can be slippery. Now if you're worried about this edge being even, you take your score board like this. Notice it's upside down. I'm going to take the white, slide it underneath, take my ruler, line up that 1/2 inch, again I'm going to glue, line it up, and this way it will be even on this side and this side. Now I'm going to test this out to make sure I'm not too far down. I think this is going to look really cool, especially once I get paper on there. Oh yeah, I'm good. Because so far I have 4 on. I think I'm going to put 7 or something. So line that back up there. Get my white piece behind it. I can see the, I'm like worried about this one. Do my 1/2 inch. And if you want to, you can put the glue here, but I know I have a 1/2 inch here, so let's see how that works. As long as I stay to the right of that 1/2 inch, I should be okay. Oops, now I got glue on my ruler. I think I like doing it the other way. Alright, so just going to give that a press. Move that. Do a little bit of cleanup. Like I said, I consider this a staggered waterfall. So now I'm going to do my last one. Oops. Hold on here. Make sure this is in the right spot. Make sure that is right. Okay. Alright. So I've got this, and as you can see, the edges of my staggered waterfall are here and here. Remove these. And by the way, I found these, I think at, excuse me, Walmart. They're over in their scrapbooking section if you want some. Alright, so that part is done. So I'm going to get a piece of colored designer paper. I didn't use. Oh, did I use up all my scraps for that? Yeah, I pretty much did. Alright. So Let's do the seashells. Alright. So I need a piece 6 7/8 by 7 3/8. So basically it's going to be the same as what the cardstock was that I put on in there. Six 7/8 by 7 3/8. Fits in there. Yes. The only thing I'm worried about the shells is making sure the I got it going the right way as far as the width and the height. And one nice thing is I can use my glue piece. Now, for decorating these, I know one thing I want to do. So this is a punch I got off of Amazon. I think it's a Marvy. It's just a quarter photo punch. The other thing I'm going to do is I've got this one. It's a Becky Higgins. It's got 3 different sides. I'm just going to take it into the smallest one and just round these 2 corners. I do have a punch, a photo punch that takes and does a rounded corner as well. That one I got at Michael's, Fiskars. But to be honest, for this book, I just want the smaller rounded corners. And I've got some paper thingies. Okay. Now, if you're worried about these, don't be, because once you get them down, they'll be stuck. On the inside here, I am going to place, I think I'll probably do that. That's the only thing with this staggered is I know what I can do. I am going to take this strip here. I just noticed this was the one I was figuring it out on. Okay, that's kind of funny. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this strip and glue this down to it. And make sure that the edges meet like that. And then I can just trim this part. All right. What's that? Ooh, I just thought of that. Okay. Don't worry, I'm not defeated yet. Actually, that one can stay down. Yep. This is what my brain is thinking. Okay, I need a couple 1/2-inch strips. Start off with 3. Go from there. There. Perfect. Okay. That one. I'm going to flip this one. I'm going to have to add one in the back too. Yeah, but I do them all in the back. Make sure these go the right way because this one is directional. Two. I need two more. This is why you save your scraps until you're totally done. Whoops, wrong side. Okay. Now I'm going to trim them off. That part is done. Now you notice I have that one there, and I think I have scraps big enough. Just cleaning up an edge here. Okay, so let me check something. Nope. I have that blue there, which is fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pieces. I want that blue on that last one. That one's going to go down low. Maybe I'll do a wider strip. I'll leave the blue. But I am going to do a 1/2 inch strip of the light. One, two, 3, 4. strip of blue. So. Because I need one strip of blue right there. It's going to be 4 1/4. Okay. Now, do another 1/2 inch strip. I know I need about 4 of these. All right. So I've got that blue one there, which is what I want. But on the rest of these, I am going to be using this lighter strip to create a little contrast. Should have thought about that before I laid down that blue one, but that's all right.
So I like to keep my waterfalls simple. It's rare that I put stuff or a full piece of designer paper on here, because to me the photos should be the star of the show. So that's looking cool. Like I said, if I hadn't really thought about what paper I was going to do on it and how I was going to cover this part, I thought about it a little more. I probably would have alternate them. Important thing is to make sure that this does not go line. And then one last one on the front. little trimming here. There too. There we go. And I'll get rid of that writing there. But these are 4 1/4 by 6 3/4 are scored along the 6 3/4 side at 1/2 inch. And this way they can put some 4 by 6 photos in the landscape mode. I also have going to do some in the horizontal mode. There we go. I'm just evening everything out. There we go. The scraps I won't be using. Okay. So I have this. And I may go through and create some journaling spots on these.
Now, because this is waterfall and I want to make sure it stays where it's supposed to stay,
I will use score tape on this little lip part, and also a little bit on this last one, because that one is not going to come up. Just have it. Oh, my ruler. My gremlins are at it again. Like I said, I'm just going to put a little score tape on this one on the back so it does not come up. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take and peel about 1 inch of these two. I'm going to take and get this where I want it. A little more to the left. There we go. Press down that top. I'm going to attempt to pull the outer one first. And the inner one first. Okay. Then I'm going to lift this up. Like that. There we go. If you're worried about them flapping, you can add something, some sort of closure. I think that looks neat. And it's different. There's one. Okay, let's work on the back. The back one, this is going to be the vertical one. And this one, hold on. Yep. I had to think for a moment. Because I've got
the photos going this way. This one is going to go this way. Yep. I had to think for a moment. And I'm going to do this one, the traditional, because I have it figured out that I can get this many on it. So I'm going to bring my scoreboard in. This is a piece of cardstock cut to 6 1/4, and these are cut 6 1/4 by 4 3/4, and then with the 4 3/4 side up on the top, they're scored at 1/2 inch. I'm going to use glue on this. I think of the best way to do this. Yeah. Oh, never mind. I like doing it this for my first one because then I know I have it straight. Sometimes I'll use score tape, sometimes I use glue. It just depends upon what I grab first. And this way I can make sure that everything is even. And actually, once I have, as you can see, I took and I laid this bottom piece in here like this. Then I put my first one on. Now, I want to make sure my edges are even. So I'm going to lay it in like that. Some strange reason it's standing up, which is odd. And I'm just going to butt that there. Oops. And make sure everything is butted up against the side so that this is even. That looks good. I need to give this a varnish with my score, with my foam folder. Okay. This one's going okay. I think I can manage without the score pot. Alright. And I'm just putting glue on this edge, lining everything up, using the edge of the previous one. To help me out. And if you're worried about it, leave it in here. These should stand up. Next one, again, I'm just adding glue to that flap. I'm going to hold this in here. My biggest thing when I'm when I'm doing it this way is making sure everything is up against this edge here, because that's going to help me make sure everything is straight and even. Okay. Because I have the edge of this flap here to help with this one. There we go. That one is completed. Just going to do some paper manipulation. Now, you notice I've got this big piece here. I'm just going to cut it off right there. Or I could leave a little bit, it doesn't matter. I think I'm just going to trim it off because I am going to add some cream colored mats with lines stamped on them. Okay, so I got that one done. Let me get a piece of paper for the back. I'm going to go with the blue. Let me do a real quick straightening up. I always like to recheck my measurements. 6 7/8 by 7 3/8. I cut off this tag here. Six and 7/8. So 7 3/8. Sure. For some reason. All right. Okay. This one, I think it's this white border. It's kind of not throwing me for a loop. Okay, got that down. Again, I'm going to add score tape to the back. That's just a me thing. And I'm not sure how I'm going to decorate these ones. I'll have to think about it. Oh, before I put them in though, I am going to do the corners. So on the front here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 11 photos that can fit there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There'll be 10 photos that can fit in the back. I am going to add something so that I can differentiate those mats. I haven't decided yet. But I will post a final walkthrough once I get everything decorated. All that I want to show you right now is the basics. How I put these together. Hold on a minute. What my thought process is. As far as putting the different elements in them. When it comes down to the nitty-gritty of the decorating, that's individual. Like I said in my previous videos, if you sound silly, but if you listen to the paper, it will tell you how it wants to be decorated. It will tell you what it wants done. I'm just going to do a little trim here. Okay. And that. Okay, so I got that part done. Let's round the corners. Oops. I'm going to have paper pool all over my desk. You know, with these punches, you really got to make sure that you get it in there just right. And some of them are more finicky than others. I mean, there's 3 different sizes on this one, and each one has its own different quirks. All right. Now you see, I could have just done one like this on here, and it would have been fine. But I don't know why, but I wanted to do a staggered one. Sure, this is okay. And I'm not sure what I want to do here. I might just do a strip of leftover designer paper right down the middle so that Okay, so then I have these, and I have 3 of these left, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a scrap piece. Let's see, I don't want to- let's do the rope. I'm going to cut it, that's an inch, let's do an inch and a half. And I think these are 6 1/4. Yep. Go to 6 1/4. Cut it like that. Small scoreboard comes in handy. Well, this is 1 1/2, so I'm going to cut it at, or not cut it, score it at 1 3/4, or at 3/4, so an inch, 1 3/4. I'm going to fold it. Oh, that sucks. That score line is way off. But I can fix it. Okay, I see what I can do. Sometimes it doesn't want to play nice. So I'm going to take it down just a little notch, about 1/8 of an inch. It's even. Now, I have score lines on these that are 1/2 inch. So these are 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. I got a 1/2 inch score along the 4 3/4 inch sides. And I'm going to use that to my advantage. Yes, I'm folding all of them at once. And then what I'm going to do is get it lined up. Okay. Line it up again. You notice I'm putting glue on the small flap. Okay. Good. I'm going to even this out a little bit. It'll be a little smaller. Not by much. On 1/8 of an inch. So this will be 6 1/8 when I get done. Okay. the bottom corner. Now, yes, I'm putting a photo corner in here, but my plans for this is to put some cream cardstock with journaling lines stamped on it. Actually, I may just go to my computer and print it out. Okay. Then I'm going to take this glue on both sides. I'm being a little generous with the glue. And I am going to line it up with like the top edge and that score line on both sides. If I do it right on one side, the other side should naturally fall in. So, just do a little trim. And I have a little booklet. And this booklet is going here. It's in that side pocket. Now, I have these ones, and I'm going to do basically the same thing. The difference is 6 1/2. I only have a 1/4 inch here, but I'm going to do the same thing. And these are going to go in pockets. I think I had 2 of them like that. So I'm actually making 4 of these. 2 of them will be so that the pictures go this way or this way. And 2 of them will be so the pictures go horizontally and vertically. So I'll have 2 of each. So let me get some paper cut for that. And these are going in pockets. So let's see what I got. Okay, I can get them out of here. I've only got a 1/4 inch. I'm going to cut it at 1 inch. Use this shows already. I'm going to use both sides of this one. One of this one. I really only need 1 strip of this one, like this here. Okay, so I need 2 strips that are 4 1/4. need 2 strips that are 6 1/4. And do the same thing. So 1 inch, so I got 1/2 inch. Half an inch. I think my camera shifted a little. There we go. Now on this one, all right, got that part done. Now, I'm going to put these together. And I am going to include 2 more waterfalls in here. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. So basically all I'm doing is creating these little booklets. And like I said, all of these will have journaling spot or journaling mats. That's what I'll call them. So that if they want to put a picture on one side and journal on the other, they can do it however they want. I'm not going to limit them to one side or the other. The reason why I'm making these little booklets is because when I cut out these mats and scored them, I started thinking, I'm going, you know, 1/4 inch, it really isn't that much. I prefer a 1/2 inch, 3/8 at minimum. So I thought, okay, I don't want to waste them. I can use them for mats if nothing else. And I thought, wait a minute, I'll just make them into little booklets, and that way it gives plenty of photo opportunities. All right, do these 2 first. Whoa. Again, that board must be off. Alright, I'm going to have to cut these. That scoreboard is off. Terribly. I'm going to have to do some trimming. Take these down to 3/8 of an inch. If you're having to do this and you want to make sure it doesn't move, get it right where you want it. Take a little piece of washi, put it down, trim. Move the washi, repeat. Okay, this is moving, that's why. Do this on this side. That close. This one's giving me a little more fits, but I will persevere. There we go. Okay. I'm going to tape down my pieces so I can cut them. Because I couldn't see my wire. That was my issue. I couldn't see my wire. Make sure I was cutting where I wanted to cut. Hopefully these ones don't give me issues. Come on now, just tape down for a second. There we go. Do this before I even lay it down. Not sure if it was user error with the scoreboard or what. It might have been user error. I might have hit the wrong spot. It happens. You just regroup, rethink, and move on. Alright. So, like I did with that other one, do a little fold. Not fold them all the way, I'm just give them a little fold. Applying a little bit of glue. Lining them up. If you take and hold them like this and tap them, they usually line up very nicely. Again, I'm just putting glue on either side. And I'm lining one edge up. Whoops, if I can pick this up. With that score line. Try not to go over it. Like I said, if you've done it right on one side, you should be okay on the other. Alright. You can do just one side at a time, but all I did was line it up with the score line. That's it. Same thing here. Now if you notice, I'm putting glue on both sides. If you're worried about matching it up and getting glue everywhere, just do one side at a time. Spread it out one side at a time. You'll get a little glue. Glue the other side. So this way, yeah, the book is kind of big because it's 7 by 7.5. There's 5 pages in it. And I just want to make sure that there is plenty of spaces for them to journal, put photos in. I like it when you can create kind of a smaller book that has a lot of real estate, yet it looks so small. Last one. I'm wondering which side to do first. If you do it on the side where you have the bump, it can kind of help you line up, especially if you're not good at lining up. Do the bump side first, because then you got that little bump to line up against. There you go. And those are completed and can go into these pockets. And I'll put something on them. I haven't decided yet what. All right. Now, 3 of these pages are not getting anything other than maybe a something out of this punch. And I haven't decided what color. I was thinking a cream or a white. I'll have to think about that. But I'm going to deconstruct this. This is an easy way to make waterfalls. At least some neat waterfalls. Is you can get these. A lot of people get them at the dollar store. I go to Walmart. They're actually 11 cents cheaper than at the dollar store. And all I'm doing is, as you can see, there's this ridge right here. I don't know if you can, yeah, right there. See where those little triangle things? I try and cut right down that. Just like that. Okay. So you have an option. You can keep the cover if you want. And I think I will. And I'm going to need some cardstock. Piece here. There we go. All right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take and make just like we did with these little booklets. I am going to leave this part as the cover, and I am going to take and enclose it in cardstock and then place it on the page. I need bigger cardstock. All right, so this measures 6.5 by 4.5. So 6.5. Okay, so that's the easy part. 6.5. Okay, 4.5 and 4.5 is 9. And I'm going to do 9.25 because that gives me a little wiggle room. Let's see, 4.5. That one won't do. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I got 9.25, so I got an 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch wiggle room basically. So I am going to take and score this at 4.5, flip, 4.5. Now remember, this is probably a little wider than what I need it, but that's okay. That is wider than what I need it. All right, let's see now. Well, that doesn't work. All right, let's try this again. I'll save these for mats. All right, let's try it again. Okay, so was the width okay? The width is okay, I'm not changing that. Yeah, the width was okay. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go to 6 5/8 for the width. Now, okay. Here's what I'm doing. You know, so I put my paper in there, okay? I'm going to use my scoreboard. And I'm going to get so that I can line this up. I'm more worried about the top. See, I want this bottom here to meet right there. And then go up about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to take that back there. I'm going to take my pencil, mark here, And then you can't see it and I can't see. So about, now remember this is a full 11-inch sheet. Well, no wonder it's 4 3/4. Okay. So it's 4 3/4. That right. Is in here. So 4 3/4. I'm going to go 1/8 of an inch above it to 4 7/8. I'm going to fold. I'm going to place this in here. Let's see. Now, I'm not worried about the back because that's going to be glued down. I'm worried about the front more. You know what? I may just take these covers off. I'm making a cover anyways. Alright. So, when these don't cooperate, I think if I was leaving it whole, it would be alright. But because these aren't cooperating, per se, and I want these to stay together. I'm just going to take my scissors and you can see where I got those half things. I am just going to trim this right up to where it joins. Just like that. I'm going to save that for something else. And you could do it with a craft knife if you want. I'm just trimming this up. I'm trimming the sides so I get rid of that. There we go. But what I don't want is, I don't want these to come apart. So, alright, now, the thing I have to decide is, I need one where the opening, yeah, I need the openings to the right. So, this is where you need score tape. That's too wide. 3/8 inch score tape. And if you notice, I'm pushing it down so that I can get the score tape on those bumps, or as close as I can to those bumps. I'm going to get this one prepared. For some reason there isn't a problem with this one. I don't know why. When I say problem, I mean it's not curling like the other one. Alright. Again, the opening to the right. Alright. Yes. So when I put the score tape on, I want the opening, well, since I'm putting it upside down, opening will still be to the right. But I'm going to save these because I use them in something else as pockets. Alright. So I'm just going to place this in here, see if I like how it looks. Yes, I do. Four and 7/8. So 4 and 7/8 should do it. All right, so I need one more piece of blue. I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to fold it in half. I lost my bone folder. It's around here somewhere. Okay. And all else fails. Use the edge of your scissors. Okay, so this one I cut to 6 5/8. By 4 7/8. All right. All I'm going to do is line that edge up and add it in. I'm just going to center this. Make sure that it's not going over the score mark, and hoping that that doesn't happen. That's all right. Okay. That one. This one should be easier because it's flat. Like I said, all I'm doing is centering this, making sure it doesn't go over the score mark. So you can have like 1/8 of an inch from the top or from the score mark. There we go. All right, now let me get my book here. Whoops, let that one come out of. Oh. All right, so I'm thinking I'm putting these on the second from the front and the second to the last, and that will leave this middle one here with the first and the last and the middle one with nothing on it. I think I like that. And I haven't decided what paper to put on, so I'm just going to leave that like that. That's where that is going to go. In fact, so I remember, clip it. I better use a paper clamp. I'm going to clip it to the page So until I decide how I want to decorate it. But you can see it's coming together quite nicely. Now, do a quick little cleanup. The only reason why I do these cleanups is because sometimes it feels a little overwhelming. Because I have paper and cardstock and everything else, and it's just messing up my space. So that's what I'm ready to work on. Put all that in there. There it is. Alright. I'm going to put these up so I can find them for later or when I use them in something else. Okay. So, thought of using the white and this edge punch. So let's see how this looks in the white. And if I don't like that, I'll check out a cream. And what I am looking for, as you can see, it cuts it completely out, unless, oh, that might look neat too, but unless you don't cut it all the way to the edge. But I am. Something else that would look nice with this paper is a taupe, almost a sand color. I'd like to see if I have some. But see, I'm thinking of putting that there and one of those sayings cut out. I have the sayings cut out. I cut them out and put them up here. There it is. See, this saying is a little too big, but if I was to trim it down like that. See, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in case you're wondering, I was counting how many words there were. But see, I can put that there. I can add this here. Got some beach stuff. And if I do this right, I can make it so that it ends approximately the same place. Like it right there. I would take and cut it so that that was my ending point. There and there. So that it looked equal. So yeah, I could do something like that. I think I like the white simply because it is so stark. And look at this. Place it on, put a full length on here, along with some beach things. I've got some cutouts of that, but another idea is to run one up here, so that as you open it, you find the rest, you find it, you know, one up each one of these. So that in addition to this here, it's got this here, which I really like. Putting this down here at the bottom with saying if it has to be 2 parts, I can put one on top and bottom, and it could be a little tuck spot. That would probably just be a see, I can do that. If I do these as a tuck spot, I'd probably back it with another piece of cardstock. I would actually cut it out and glue them together to give it a little more stability. Or even I just cut it out just like this. See how nice that looks? Just cut it wide enough to fit that and do it that way. So that's one thing. I really like this white. And you see I can do the white on here as well, kind of like a belly band. I can do it on these. So I'm thinking the white would be the perfect accent because it is so stark, and again, you know, if I wanted to put this down here, this could be another little tuck spot. Put the blue behind it. So yeah, the white looks good. Let's try a piece of cream. I'm going to take these two because I cut them and put them in the pocket. Let's try a piece of cream or off-white. That's heavy. That's heavyweight. Ooh. This might look good. This color might look good. Okay, let's try it. It's kind of a sandy beach type color, so this might even look better than the white. In case you're wondering, this is how I punch. When I'm doing these punches, I do one side first and then I flip it. I just find it easier. But I think this punch goes nicely with the beach theme. Let's see now. Ooh, that looks good too. Just trying to think that one would look better. Because it gives more contrast, like on this piece here. Whereas the white kind of goes in. It looks really good against the blue. Let's see about the front cover. Oh, look at that. See, I could do something like that and put a saying. I'm thinking I'll use this color. Let me see if there's any other options. Not the same color. Okay. Ooh, that one might be better. Okay, let's try this one. And like I've said before, decorating is personal. When I watch other people do that, you know, sometimes all I want you to do is show me how you got to the point where you're decorating. I don't need a step-by-step for how you decorate it. Though, to be honest, sometimes it's nice to see how they decorated, what their thought process was, why they use certain colors, because you can get ideas. Where okay, I don't have that color paper. I have a different color paper, so I got to use different decorations and colors, things like that. But I might have that color. I might want to use that color. So yeah, this was a, ooh, that looks better. Oh, okay. I think we found our color. Look at that. That is beachy. I think that goes even better than the other two. I mean, the white looked great because it was so stark and shocking. But I think this is a little more subtle, especially if I'm putting it down here. If I put that blue behind it, you see how it looks against the blue? Now here's that. Here's the other choices. Now the white is very, like I said, stark and kind of in your face. This one is okay. It blends in a little bit more, but I think this one, in addition to kind of popping a little bit, especially against the blue, it takes and it kind of ties in with the other colors. It's kind of more in the color palette than this one is. So, and when I place it against the different papers that are in here, it just looks better. Because there's that one, that last one I did, so that's number 3. This is number 2. And of course we got white. But I'm thinking between the two, this one appeals to me more. So I'm going to go with this one, which is this color here. So, but I am going to keep these. I'll use them for something else. You never know. Yeah, sometimes I buy paper packs and it's only 1 or 2 colors I want out of it. And I'm stuck with all these other colors. So I'm always trying to figure out ways to use them in different projects. So, alright. So, that's part of the decorating. Like I said, I will take and do a video once I get it totally decorated, because I am more of the school of let me show you my thought process, let me show you how I did the different elements of it, and you take it from there. Because yeah, you can do your book the exact same as I did, and that, but it's going to look the same. Okay, that's fine. That, you know, they say imitation is the greatest compliment you can get, and I like that. But I also think that everyone needs to explore their own creativity and decide their own color scheme and everything. Yeah, you can use the same colors as me, but don't believe that you got to take and decorate it exactly the same as me. Because that's not you. I want you to be you. See how that will look? And when I put that blue behind it, because I can make this into like a little sliding place on here, so that they want to just tuck a little ticket or a note in there, they can. I think I'm going to take and put paper on the front of these and add this to it. Inside of these, I'm not going to I put paper on the insides too, but as far as these go, I'm not going to add anything. Now these won't go this way, but they will go this way. And if I wanted them to go this way, I could have cut them down, but I would have had to cut too much off. I didn't want to do that. So I'm going to put these in here like this. They're going to be little booklets. So they can actually take, and I may even put a journaling piece of cardstock with journaling lines on the front and the back so that they could journal about what's in this booklet. And maybe include one in a couple of these. I haven't decided yet. I think I am going to put something over this. I'll probably just put a strip over it to hide this edge. I am going to use the different phrases that I have here because I have them at the bottom of these. So I'm going to use those. Make sure I get all of them. There should be 6 of them, I think. There's 1, 2. There's 3. Okay, there's 3. I got one already cut, that's 4. There's 5. Should be one more. Pull this out. Okay. So sometimes you have to stop and appreciate the good things. It's on this one. I'll probably have it here somewhere. Somewhere in my mess here. There it is. So there's those 2. I got that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've got one more. Already cut out. So I'm going to incorporate those into my design. Because I know I have one for the cover. I'll use one for the cover, and then I'll use one on each of the pages, probably on the pockets. Of course, one will be sideways, but that's okay. Let me get a little clean up here. If you have any questions about any part of this project that I've done, put it in the comments. I hope you liked how it turned out. I think it turned out a lot better than I thought it would. You know how it is. You got a vision in mind and you're thinking, oh boy, this is not going to turn out. But actually, this turned out really good in that. So, and I like the fact that with this binding, using the hockey stick tape, look at that. I am going to add strips here. I haven't decided if I'm going to, I might use strips of this as an accent. That would look great. Look at that. You know, just solid strips, or So I don't know how wide this is. That's a 1/2 inch. See, that's a little over an inch. That's 1 1/8 inches, so that's a little too wide. Otherwise, I'd cut them down in half. I may still do it, just trim it. Who knows? But I will do a video to show you how I ended up finally decorating everything. So this so here's my album, my beach album. So next time you see it, it'll be fully decorated with how I envision it. I've given you some tips in that. Like I said, I think I'm going to put strips of this down each one just to add something and to show that, hey, there's something underneath here. And you see how it takes and says, oh, okay, there's another page, there's another page, there's another page. Especially when I have mats like this, because I like this and I want to do something else to help it. I'm going to put the border across here. I'll be putting the strips on here. And these will also have the journaling mats, is what I call them. And I'll show you those too. So this might have to go in this way so it stays there. That works better. Sometimes you have to tuck them in a certain way. I mean, there's only, I think if I had another page on this one, it would be better, but I don't, so tuck it in backwards. So yeah, and I think this punch here, which is Diamond Fence, is a good fit for this, because it reminds me of the little fences that some of the beach houses will have around their little part of the little part of the sand, you know. So, okay, well, that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to the next time I post a video about what I'm doing. I've got a couple more albums in mind. I've got to do some pet video or pet albums, because I have a pet charity I'm doing in May, and I like to have some pet things. I've got treat jars, but I do need to make some pet albums, so maybe I'll do a video when I get those done. They're going to be based on a tutorial from one of the designers at Country Craft Creations. So thanks for watching.